does that even mean, Bowers game quarterback?
Oh, God. Ahoy there, YouTube. We're back again for another Thoughts from the Corner. I'm here with my good friends Lucy and Adam.
Hey.
And we just got done playing Obscurio from Libelbud. I'm not actually sure when this game comes out. It came out at Gen Con, which is always weird because sometimes they come out then, sometimes they come out months from then. But this is from Libelbud. It is... How many players is this bad boy?
It's like 4 to something.
2 to 8. 10 plus players, take about 45 minutes to play. I played this at Gen Con. This was their first time doing it, and this is a game in which we are trying to escape from a library. And one person is going to be the Grimoire, which was Lucy, so she'll be talking in depth about that. And they are going to try and get everyone through the library by getting us to pick the right door. And the right door is going to be a bunch of these cards. And these cards are Dixit-style cards with a bunch of weird random stuff on them. But where this game gets interesting is there is a traitor whose only job is to help everyone not get through the door. The artwork is gorgeous in this. We'll talk about that more. There's also traps in here, which are more difficult things, which are going to make it hard for... great for the traitor. I don't know if it was hard for you, but it was really hard for us.
It was. I got stressed about it, but like literally, I think that it might be depending on group because like literally, Adam had like a second connection with me. So some of them I was just like, you were fighting against him a lot of the time too.
That's what I do.
Because they were just like, oh hey guys,
Like,
there's
it's
like a
clearly
sword,
this, and
there's runes, there's a sword, and it's a weapon and an axe, and you're like, nope.
and I'm like, and look at the placement.
Wait, let me finish
Like,
that.
yeah.
So, what you're going to do is you have a whole bunch of tokens on the board. Every time someone gets over the wrong door, you lose a token. If you take too long, you get more traps. You always have one trap. The traps, so there's a whole bunch of different traps. They're all very difficult to add. There's one that doesn't do anything, but they all bump up the difficulty for the most part. And now let's talk about our thoughts from the game. And I want to start off with you because both times I've played, I have not got to be the Grimoire. So what did you think about being the Grimoire? And give us a little bit more about what you did.
Grimoire, it was a little stressful because like my goal was essentially like I'm on the good guys team, but like I can't communicate and I can only have like a couple words. Like my strategy, I don't know if everybody else does this, but like essentially what you do as a Grimoire is you pick a card from the top, you look at it, and it's like, okay, this is now my exit card. I put it aside, and then as the traitor, everyone closes their eyes and I tell the traitor to wake up, and they're going to pick from a selection of 8 cards, randomly chosen. And they get to choose 2 of them usually, unless the trap says otherwise.
And I want to pause right there. They're picking cards based on information you give to everyone with these little arrows.
Yes. So the first part, I pick a card, and then I pick 2. I pull up 2 random cards, and from those random cards, I get to have like 2 spots where I can point on them.
2 little arrows.
2 little arrows. I can't do the same picture.
It could be about color. It could be about what it is or what
Anything,
it's not.
or shapes.
You did it quite frequently where you just pointed away from the card to let us know that nothing on this card is relevant at all.
Yeah.
Which actually I felt was very useful.
Yeah, essentially what I did was like I just picked a spot, and like if there was anything like really pertaining to that one, like I forget which one it was. Dang it, there were so many of these. But like there's like one where it's like, okay, there's like a frog in this picture that was randomly chosen. I need a frog. I'm pointing at that frog only. And the other card is like, some random stuff. I could have put to colors, but why confuse people? So I just pointed away. And I was like, okay, maybe they'll get it. Maybe they'll understand my mind drift or something. Maybe we'll have a second connection. And then like our trader will choose 2 different cards. He'll be like, okay, based off that frog, I'll choose one that maybe has a frog, or maybe green.
Maybe it's big, a lot of green, yeah.
Or maybe like swamp.
And you can, we'll get into that. You can definitely tell when the trader has left their mark, because it'll be like, that one is very spot on, and this...
Sometimes it's also just because I got lucky, and I'm like, oh no.
Well, also, they're listening at, like, they're there when we're talking about,
Yes.
like, okay, what do we see here? I see, a cape, I see a garden, so that might have something to do with that. Well, then they're going to know to choose one that has a cape and a garden, because that's exactly what we're looking for.
And you might not always get that lucky. It's much more abstracted.
Yeah, like for the last round, especially, it was like super abstract because I got like a guy with a hat, and like my cards were like deer mask and turtle, and it's like, okay, how do I communicate? In the last round, they need to get a guy with a hat, and I'm like, mask. There was a human. I'm done.
One thing that you bringing this up kind of makes me... It's kind of interesting with this game, is I feel like to really get the full experience of this game, you need to play it 3 times. Once as the trader, once as the Grimoire, and once as just a regular person. Because those are all 3 very different experiences you're going to get.
Because like I was like, it was fun hearing you guys, but like I also can't discuss. But I'm like, oh god, it's like Adam would be like, okay, there's like some like checkered boards, and there's also like some white patterns, checkers, white, and it'll be like, oh, but there's literally butterflies on this one, and it's like, oh no.
Because you're not supposed to talk at all, right?
Yeah, I looked away just to not even.
I was
give
like,
any,
then
hints
why
or
did she
clues.
have the square if she wanted just the butterflies?
Yes, and it was because it was like that was also like the only time I also like because also you get a sort of like a feel for the personality of like your grimoire, which is kind of fun. It's just like you guys were like again with that example. That was the only time I put 2 tokens on. So you were like, okay, she actually bothered to put 2 tokens.
See, I don't feel like we ever got a feel for you aside from just ridiculing you.
Yeah, you guys were just like.
Even though you did do a bang up job.
Yeah,
You
you
did
did.
great.
Tried
Amazing.
so hard.
So did you like playing as a grimoire?
It was fun.
Would you rather do that if you played again? Would you want to be the grimoire? Or would you rather try just being one of the random people?
I like to be a traitor because
Well,
then I
yeah,
could know
obviously
about stuff.
everybody wants to be the
Yeah.
traitor. Now, was that fun watching what Alan was saying to try and mislead us?
It was the thing is like Adam didn't because like really like you stole like the show of just like hey.
Alan, our friend Alan was the traitor, and you were much more assertive about this is the right one, guys. Go with the tokens here. And then my style was we have to get through the door, guys. So let's just spread out, which makes me look like a traitor, but it's smart, and it ended up winning us the game.
Yeah, because like one time,
Well,
if Jimmy,
one time.
one
time.
time.
Well, here's the
One
thing.
time mattered.
Had you been with me the whole time, we wouldn't have lost any tokens
Extra
up
ones.
until that point.
Yeah, but what about Jimmy?
No,
Yeah.
it was between like the
That's
three of
what
you
I'm saying, like,
losing, but like
Up
no,
until that point, we wouldn't have lost any tokens.
And there was
even
one-
if we had lost 4 for that, what happens if you don't get through the door?
you just start again. You just
Yeah, you have to do another round, which means you're going to lose more tokens.
yeah.
So instead of losing the 6 or 9 tokens
This one
coming up
time,
to it, we would have lost 4 the one time that I chose
yeah,
wrong.
because you're just going to get them all wrong,
I was
every
on a
single
hot
time.
streak. I
We're
was
very
on a hot
passionate about this
streak.
game, as obviously.
Okay.
So it's very interesting.
I did think we can all agree. We all want to be the traitor. I want to be the traitor.
I don't want to be the
I
traitor.
would love to
That's
be the
stressful.
traitor.
That
No,
just
like,
seems
I
so
felt-
stressful
No,
to me.
I felt sorry for because we played on easy mode because it was our first time, and I think what Alan said was right. We should have played it on harder mode because we're more advanced.
See, but I
gamers.
feel like we won by the skin of our teeth. We had
It
4
would've been-
tokens.
it would've
Only
forced- it
because
would've-
of your stupid strategy.
My stupid strategy saved the game.
But like you couldn't. But like you couldn't.
Jimmy specific. Okay.
But like it couldn't have. It would have encouraged people to like having to double up more because you guys kept on each round because you guys had like so many to spare. We'll just go like 4 out of the guys picked 4 out of 6 doors. Like it was highly improbable you guys were going to choose the wrong door if you kept that strategy and you had just enough tokens to peter
Wait.
out.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? It's
You had-
highly unlikely.
It's highly unlikely that you're not going. Sorry.
That you're all going to choose the right door.
Oh yeah, this is on my side.
No. Like if you spread out 4, like it's gonna be hard. It is hard for the trader. It's
Oh,
stressful
yeah.
because I felt bad for Alan because like he only had like this couple of cards and like even though like and again like I was specific about my stuff, so he couldn't be like that has like a cauldron fire, so you couldn't pick any cauldron fire ones, so they didn't point at that picture at all.
Like, here's the thing. If we had less of those tokens and we had to be more right,
Yes.
we would have discussed it a lot longer. And we
Yeah.
probably
Well,
would
we
have
would
gotten
not
more
have discussed it a lot
traps.
longer because that would have been more traps. And that's another thing that I really like about this game is the time limit. That time limit is a fantastic constraint where, like, there were sometimes where we gotta go, we gotta put these tokens
Okay.
down now.
No, so here's the thing. Like, we have to play this at higher difficulties because here's what I think is going to happen. We're going to go in there and we're going to be like, okay, we can only fail so many times, right? So we have to get this right. So instead of me just being like, I think it's that one and throw it down there, like, you're going to be like, no! Like, we have to talk about it. We have to all agree on it.
Yeah.
And you're going to argue with me about
Because,
it, and
like-
I'm going to be right, and you're going to be wrong, and then you're going to lose this game.
I got one. I got one of them right.
No,
Like,
no,
No,
but-
but like remember that one round where you guys all chose 1? That also really saved you a lot too.
Yeah, like if
That's
we
not
get that
true.
wrong, like we lose that game. Like that's why I kind of disagree with Alan. Like if we got that round wrong, we lose
Yes.
the game. I do believe.
It's that risk reward. It's like if you're super confident in something, like, you have to like bring in factors. Like there's a trader because there's also different traps. So like the trader knows what the card looks like, or like the trader gets to pick 2 extra cards, so a total of 4 of them. There could be like an extra random one that just happens to coincide with that one.
What did you think about the traps?
Traps? They were pretty. I liked them. Like definitely like one individually doesn't hurt that much. I found
That red one was.
So-
the red one was annoying, but wasn't really helpful.
That's the thing.
Having two though is what really hurts you. Like we're like in the last.
So I mean, we know that we need to be speedy about it, right?
Yes.
So we're like, we want one, like the first flip, like we want to get it done in that time. But if the stakes are higher and we want to argue about it, we don't have the time to argue. Like, imagine how many games have we played where we sit there for like 10 minutes arguing about stuff.
Yeah, it could happen.
Like,
Especially about like trader stuff, like these kind of trader games, like with a hidden trader, like you're going to be discussing a lot. This one lets you. This one like says like you can't afford to unless you're really passionate about something.
and so like it'll be a quick discussion, but I can definitely see if we're like on the wire, we're gonna go over that time limit. We're gonna get more traps.
Oh, that's gonna make it so much more. Because when I
Yeah.
played this at
It's
Gen Con,
engaging.
we went over a couple times, and those extra trap tokens are just so hard. Like we got very fortunate that we did. There's one where it's a zipper where you only reveal one at a time, then you have to
And
guess
it
it.
happened
Right.
at the last round where nobody can discuss, which was super exciting also. Because I just had to and it was like, the hardest one for me. Nothing matched, so I'm just like, do you choose this one? No drops. Do you choose this one? No drops. And that was just
Now, I think this game could definitely be ruined by a bad grimoire. Like I think that is one of the big issues with this game.
It's
But
the same thing though. If you have like if it's same thing with Mysterium or Dixit, like it's-
less to a lesser extent, I
Lesser
think with
to extent,
Disket at
yes.
least. Because Dixit doesn't everybody take turns doing the cards?
Well, everyone takes turns, yes, but even then, like it's all like it's just about like choosing the right cards to do. But I guess Mysterium, you're just stuck with the cards that you have, and you're just like, okay, I'll mishmash them somehow.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point.
And also, there's a trader in the mix, which also hampers it. So I think
Yeah.
Also, it matters like because we kind of know each other quite well at this
Yes.
point.
Yep.
So
Didn't
so
help us in
like
mind.
I was
We spent
like,
hundreds of hours together.
Lucy wouldn't have put it there. Like she would have moved it right on it if she meant
like that cape one,
Like,
I was
yeah.
so happy
I was like,
because
she
I
would
was
have
just
put
like,
it
because you were
right
like,
on
stick.
there.
It's a stick.
Everybody was like, it's a stick.
And
I was like,
Alan
no,
was-
it would have
Adam-
touched the
Adam was
stick
the only
if
one.
it was gonna be the stick.
And I said that was a good point.
Adam
I
was just like,
conceded.
it could be underneath it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it had like the red layer on top of it too. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the worst. Just, oh yeah, I know. Like, it also depends on what group. Like, I will say like this: if you're going to be the trader, you have to be active.
Yeah.
Like, you have. This is for the grimoire. If you're a shy person and you just like to do little puzzle things, SAB the grimoire, it's fun. You get that thrill.
You don't
just,
have to
like,
talk to anybody.
you don't have to
Yeah.
talk to anybody. You get that thrill of just like hearing your friends discuss and argue and just like, oh, thank God, like Adam's doing it. Stop messing it up for us.
I won the game, too.
And I'm just like, Alan, talk more, because now I feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've talked about it enough. Final thoughts on the game. Like, what? Obviously, this is your first time. Would you want to play it more? Would you? It goes to 2 players. Would you try it at 2 players? Would you try it at the higher player counts?
Look.
I don't even. They're probably just separate rules, because like again, like there can't be a traitor. It's just like you against.
You're lying. Yep, you're right.
Just trying to.
I think it's more just helping them
Yeah.
get the cards. So we're not even going to talk about the 2 players. But would you want to play this at the higher player counts? Would you want to play this again? What did you think about the game?
Higher player counts would definitely probably yield more traps, because more arguments, more peoples, more bodies. I guess, yeah, I'd say like this kind of game is good. Like, if you like Mysterium, I don't see why not you would get this. It's pretty much like a more competitive, like more stressful Mysterium. It's you, like, yeah. I like it. I like
Which
it
one do you
more.
like better?
Oh,
This
this
or Mysterium? And I'm going to throw in Paranormal Detectives as well, the recent one. Because I feel like there's kind of a similar feeling.
Yeah, I will say like Obscurio more, because with Paranormal Detectives, like, sometimes you just... I like this game a lot. Especially, like, it'll be in the review. But, like, I felt like I didn't get any... Like, sometimes you're just so far off that until somebody else's guess, then you can be on the track. And that was a little bit off for me. So I like Obscurio more, but I also played as a Grimoire, so I have no idea, like, how it is.
I would agree. I think that I like Obscurio
Really?
more than Paranormal Detectives, but that doesn't mean that Paranormal Detectives isn't amazing.
Where do you slot in Mysterium?
It's-
Definitely down the end.
Okay, I'm in the
Yeah.
same boat with that too.
Yeah. I think that just the way this played, like, it was more rewarding than what Mysterium is. Personally
Yes.
to me, because yeah, I mean everybody's kind of working together more. It's more beneficial.
Mysterium's friendlier,
You get a better feel.
but I like this one. This one has like more some teeth into it, like some fighting.
I personally I like Paranormal Detectives better still, but I feel like they're different enough that I'm going to keep both, and I do think I'm going to keep Obscurio. I like this game, and honestly, like with the expansion, like I just want a small box expansions that's just traps and cards. Don't give me any more bells and whistles. Just give me traps. I don't even need the cards. I don't give a crap about the cards. Like I'm not going to remember what cards we saw 2 months from now, the next time we play this.
Yeah.
I think it's just more traps would be really cool.
Even if you know what all the cards are, like
they're different interpretations.
yeah,
Different card
you've got another one coming.
Yeah,
out
but like
of
with
it,
Dixon,
like,
it's like, oh, look, more cards. I don't know. I just don't get it.
stacking.
We're
Yeah.
just anti-Dixon here.
But we're all big fans of this. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I
Yeah.
want to play it all the player counts.
Yes.
I want to see.
You want to play it 2? Shoot
Yeah.
a video of us playing it 2 players. But yeah.
Stream it.
That is Obscurio from Libel Bud coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but we're all big fans of it. I think everybody played it too. Did Jimmy like it? I think he
did.
Yeah, and he's not a big fan of this style game as well. Alan complained about it being a little bit too easy, but I think he liked the game as well.
Because we had the easy difficulty, and it was I felt bad because it was hard for him because like it was a combination of just like Alan getting them all. Right.
He literally said like I would enjoy this more if it was more difficult. So he doesn't want to play it on the easy mode ever again.
And see, here's the thing: I played a game of this Gen Con where we got our clock cleaned. Like I just
With
feel
a group
like
of people you didn't know.
that's a very valid point too. Yeah, fair point. But that is Obscurio from Libel Bud. Definitely one that we can recommend you check out if you like this style of game. I think I do think that's a big deal breaker.
If you liked Mysterium, I say like there's no reason this should not also be in your what's it called?
Wheelhouse? Yeah, it's a weird expression. Yeah. One other thing that I want to mention, I want to get your thoughts on it as well. There is a phase where everybody closes their eyes and just I don't know if you're actually supposed to be quiet, but we just chit-chatted. Yeah. What do you think about that phase? I actually really enjoyed that phase. I felt like it was a nice little just segue away from the game.
I mean, it was the one...
I could see that us chit-chatting could have revealed that we weren't the traitor.
Yeah, but if I was the traitor, I'd still be chit-chatting.
I considered that.
It also didn't help when you opened your eyes in the middle of it.
That was one time!
One time was
and
enough.
I didn't see whose eyes... Yeah, that was bad because everybody knew I wasn't the traitor. But we didn't even get to the traitor voting phase. But there you go. Obscurio.
I will say, like, I mean, like, it's sort of like
that went
werewolf.
nowhere.
Like, sort of like werewolf. Like, at first, like, when you first play werewolf, you don't talk a lot in the middle because you're nervous, especially as a traitor. But, like, after playing werewolf for a long time, you get used to, like, being the traitor and talking at night.
You have to.
Oh, yeah.
So I think same thing with this kind of, like, caveat. I guess if you don't, like, for the first game, maybe not talk as much because it's going to be nervous for the traitor. But then, like, after playing for a while, just talk at night and the traitor will naturally just jump in. Because even Alan did that eventually later
around round 3.
While he had his eyes open, he still was talking to you and, like, and getting into the conversation about Popeyes and KFC and how you like Chick-fil-A, you monster. Okay.
He likes Chick-fil-A. Well, I mean, it's good
No.
food.
I've only had it once and I wasn't a fan. I'd rather eat the Wendy's chicken sandwich.
All right. That is Obscurio from... No, I'm not shying away. We're going back to Chick-fil-A.
Wendy's,
Let me know, if you're enjoying what we're doing,
sandwiches.
please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. If you're supporting the channel, consider supporting the Patreon. It's how we get better lighting, better audio, better video, and a better looking host. And in the comments below, let me know, Chick-fil-A, your thoughts purely on the food, not on everything around the food.
No, even the food is bad.
Really?
I've only had it one time and
I don't know
I
why
was
there's
not
two.
impressed
There's
by
one
that.
in our mall. There's one outside and one inside. Why?
Because it's
so
Because
good.
it's popular.
Their chicken sandwiches are great. The waffle fries
Just
are
go
great.
to Popeyes.
Go to
That's
Popeyes.
there's
They're-
not
they're-
Popeyes isn't
They're a little
nearby.
snooty because I'm like, oh, can I get like a leg instead? Like,
You
that's
didn't
gonna
say
be-
nearby. I would go to Pizza Hut if I was out there.
That's not a choice.
Please,